Hi everyone, this is Doron. Today I'm going to show you a neat little game called Paperback, where you act as a novelist trying to complete paperback novels for fame. What I'd like to show you first is when's the game over and how you really acquire points. There are certain cards that bear a fame point on there. This one, for example, has 4. This one, for example, has 5. And at the end of the game, whomever has the most fame points will be obviously the winner. Now the game will be over after certain conditions. Maybe you can call them 4 rounds. As you can see here, there's a common cards pile, which I'll explain shortly what that means. But when you build a word with 7 letters, you acquire and grab this card into your deck. The next word that has 8 letters, that player will acquire this card, and so on until all of these cards are gone, which that will trigger the game, the end of the game. Now on your turn, you have each player has an identical starting deck of cards, which is being shuffled, and it consists of starting letters R, L, N, S, T, L. I think there's an extra card here, plus some wild cards that are represented by these cards. And you start with 5 cards in your hand, and on your turn you have to construct a word out of the cards that are available to you. So for example, in this hand we have L, R, and 3 wilds. I can probably do, if I'm spelling it correctly, the word Larry. So let's just look at the anatomy of this card, for example. This is obviously the letter L, the card L. This card specifically costs 1 cent, which as a starting deck doesn't mean much. But this card will score you 1 point at the end of your turn, which I'll show momentarily what it means. So I have the word Larry. So the first thing right afterward, I check the length of my word, which in this case I have 5 letters. I compare it against the 7 letters. Obviously I don't get the common card, which I'll explain momentarily what it is. That will check in the word length. Then resolve any abilities. Some cards bear abilities on them, which as you can see, cards here have a certain abilities, and you score the words. Now in all total of that word I score 2 points, which at this point I'm entitled to purchase a card from the offer. That's what's called the offer. Now each card has a cost on the bottom left. This one, for example, has 2 cents. This column, it costs 3 cents for these cards, 4 cents, 5, 6, 7, and then this deck is 8, 9, or 10 cents of a cost. So I would, for example, I would grab a letter from here, that's 2 cents, put this in a discard pile, pick up the next 5 cards, and then I keep on going. And then each card that I purchase, I put it in discard pile. Once I'm exhausted I exhausted my supply card, I shuffle the discard pile, put it back here, pull 5 more cards again. Now these cards here have certain abilities. For example, let's see, this one, letter P. So this one has an ability 1 card next hand, which means if I use this card after I pick it up as my starting hand, if I use that in a word, then my next hand will be not 5 but will be 6. Now there are certain things here. So just put this guy back here. This is called the alternate row. Well, this is, I guess, the main row. When you purchase a card, you have the ability to grab any letter that you can afford. Now there is an optional rule that if I do not want to pick up any card from here, or let's say, I'm sorry, card from here, let's say I want to grab this card, then what I will do is I will place a cube on this card, grab this one, and put it in my discard pile. Now that basically means that this card itself would cost 3 cents minus 1, so this card becomes cheaper. Now there are also wild cards here that cost even much more, 5 cents, 8 cents, 11 cents, and 17 cents. And those, once they're shuffled into your deck, can be used as a wild card. Also, at the end of the game, they're worth certain points. The best card that there will be would be this one, which will reward you with 15 points. Now, another thing is, as an optional rule you can add to the game, each player can receive a power card. For example, this one has once per turn after drawing, if you reveal a hand with no wilds, you can draw another card into your hand. This one, once per turn, you may copy a letter in your word. You don't score or whatever, so if you have the letter L, you can double that, use that twice. There are also theme cards here that, whichever is being decided on, randomly picked up. For example, Western. If you come up with a word that is in the theme Western and is acceptable on everybody, you grab this card, you put it here. This will reward you with 5 fame points at the end of the game. During the game, other players can come up with their own, with also words within the Western theme. They can steal that from you, and so on. So whomever holds this card at the end of the game gets this reward of 5 fame points. Also, there are award cards where you choose, I assume, one, and if you comply with that award at the end of the game, the player with the most cards in their deck gains this card. That's another way of gaining an additional fame point. Also, in this card, you have the option to ask for a bounty. If you have a certain hand and you have no idea what you would like to do with it, basically, you can offer a bounty. And that would mean if other players they assist you and suggest a word that you accept, they earn 1 cube, which is 1 cent, that they can use towards purchasing a card. So that's it. This is the game, as simple as that, a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Subscription will be very much appreciated as well. And remember, sharing is caring. Thank you for watching.